I'm back. Rhodes for the Matrixx and Rhodes show. We're going to talk about J.K. Rowling and more so the disturbing nature of exactly what we're about to talk about here. This is pretty awful. As we know, she's been not even so much outspoken about transgenders. She has stated some things that I know Dave Chappelle has talked about. Things like, your gender is fact, okay? How you're born, biological male, female, is fact. Now, J.K. Rowling has been the subject of I don't know how many cancellation attempts upon time. In case you're wondering, well, who the hell is this? This is the author of Harry Potter, right? The Harry Potter books. And many of you will already know that, but there will be people that don't. So I need to clarify. So now it seems that somebody that signed a New York Times petition against J.K. Rowling, this took a very sinister turn. Okay, and I read this and was like, wow, this is starting to get kind of threatening. I mean, actually pretty threatening. That if you just don't agree with the way that somebody chooses to live their life, or you voice a disagreement over something, and look, I can't put myself in the head of a transgender, but I do know one thing: you're either born a male or a female. Okay, that I do know. That is absolutely fact, regardless of what kind of terms you try to conveniently make up to accept the way some people may be living. And I think there may end up being a revolution in this country at some point where everybody takes a step back and they're like, you know what? A lot of this is a mental health issue. Okay. A lot of this is just crazy. A lot of the wokeness, the pronouns is going to be determined to be some kind of a really massive mental health crisis in this country. Okay, and that's just the way I feel about it. In a lot of ways, this stuff is so messed up. All right, and it is. It's messed up. Okay, and it's being pushed on the children, and it's appalling. Transgender author who signed New York Times protest letter threatened to slit J.K. Rowling's throat. Wow, this took a turn. Transgender author who signed the recent petition protesting the New York Times reporting on the debate over transgender children recently threatened to slit the throat of Harry Potter novelist J.K. Rowling. Wow. Gretchen felker-martin, who identifies as, quote, a trans dyke. All right. I mean, I don't even know what that means, but okay. And writes horror fiction, lashed out at J.K. Rowling, as well as journalists Helen Joyce and Jesse Segal, in a since-deleted series of tweets blaming them for the stabbing death of 16-year-old transgender person in Britain. Why would they get blamed for that? What? Quote, blood on Jesse Segal's hands, blood on Helen Joyce's hands, Rowling's every just asking questions journalist and fear-mongering turfs. You're scared for your children, ? They're killing ours. felker-martin tweeted this week. In a subsequent tweet, felker-martin wrote, quote, if they all had one throat, man. Wow, okay. Unbelievable. felker-martin was among the signatories of a recent petition blasting the Times coverage of the transgender children controversy. You know what's wild? I mean, the New York Times has been so woke that it has lost all credibility. The credibility of the New York Times being a viable publication has been gone for years now, over wokeness, over co-signing and not being objective to subjects just like this. And then you've got the wokes coming after the New York Times when they actually write an article that chooses to be objective and ask questions. Now, after all of this, they've tanked their product. It's never good enough. come on. I mean, you know, felker-martin was among the signatories of a recent petition blasting the Times coverage of the transgender children controversy. As Breitbart News reported, the petition criticized the newspaper for articles questioning whether children should undergo irreversible medical procedures, including hormone treatment and surgery, to change their genders. Are we literally saying it's not okay to ask questions about that? Oh my God. I mean, boy, we've gone way past down a dangerous road, because there should be a lot of questions being asked about that particular issue. And sort of this just all accepting, let's just convert everybody that this week Margaret believes she's a tomboy, so let's change her into a little boy. There's going to be a lot of that. You're going to have a lot of regret when these girls, boys get older and realize, oh shit, I was going through a phase and I never should have been screwed with. You're going to have a lot of that. One of the Times articles exposed how schools are encouraging minors to change their gender behind the backs of parents. The only way that's going to stop is for parents to destroy those schools in lawsuits. It's got to happen. The parents have got to sue the shit out of these woke schools doing that. It's got to be stopped. The schools are butting their nose in the areas they have no business being in. The petition features close to 200 signatures from past and present Times contributors, people who have written for the paper but aren't necessarily on staff, as well as many more signatures from the general public. J.K. Rowling has been subjected to numerous online threats and smears ever since she began publicly expressing her views on gender. The Harry Potter author has stated that she believes gender is rooted in biology. Fact. I don't understand what's the argument there exactly. Fact. And that transgender women are not the same as actual women. No shit. Also fact. All right? I'm not here to save anybody's feelings. In fact, I really don't give a F about them. If you want to know the truth. I don't care. That's crazy. I mean, why? They have been coming after her, and again, we talked about this earlier, because Dave Chappelle brought up J.K. Rowling in one of his stand-up specials and was talking about the fact that gender is, in fact. Biological gender is fact, right? You're born man, woman, etc. What's the debate? All right? It's not like underwear. You don't get to just change it all the time. Sorry. You're going through a phase, whatever. And, you know, I think, like I said, I think eventually throughout time, a lot of this is going to get exposed, and you're going to have some, and it's going to be sad when it happens. It's going to be very sad, because you're going to have a lot of these kids that are like 7, 8, 9, 10 now, that when they're like up around 30, we're going to have this drastic backlash and crisis of kids that figured out once they got older they never wanted to be transitioned. But the schools got involved, and they were doing it behind parents' backs, and they're trying to take the rights away from the parents involving things like this. I mean, there's just no way. All of this is, in my opinion, so corrupt. The schools have put themselves in the areas they have no business being. Okay, again, I feel like there's a lot of this is rooted in some kind of mental health issue. Okay, and it's crazy. The schools and the media keep giving these weirdos a bunch of platforms. Okay, and I saw a woman the other day. They started transitioning their kid really, really young, real young. Okay, and you can tell it's some kind of weird, liberal, trendy badge of honor to have a transgender child. Oh, we think he wants to convert. Well, wait a minute. He's 3 years old. How about you don't do what a 3-year-old wants? How about you don't do that? Because they're 3 and they don't know what the fuck they want. I mean, it's nuts. But you can tell there is sort of a badge of honor that comes along for some of these liberals, that it's like, oh my God, look at me, got a transgender kid. Aren't I cool? It's gross. It truly is. Tell me what you think, Matrixx and Rhodes show fans. Threaten J.K. Rowling. They've been doing it a lot lately. Threatening. All right? When you're talking about doing a Jason Voorhees on somebody's throat, you're in the territory that is highly mentally unstable. Right? Sickos now. It's crazy as hell. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.